want to find the average rate of change. The average rate of change between the interval 0, 0, and 3. Well, if you guys don't remember rate of change is basically the slope. When you have a rate of change, you basically are finding the slope. It's just a fancy way of saying that. And slope is a fancy way of saying the rise over the run. And rise over the run is a simple way of remembering the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So these are all the ways you could talk about slope. And we're going to focus on this one, your favorite formula since middle school. Well, you know how to find the slope from a straight line, but what the word average rate of change is, you want to find more or less what will be the slope with a curved line. Because it's a curvy line, you see how it's not a straight line. It's actually going to be it's not a constant slope. So we're going to more or less eyeball it. What will be the slope if it's average? When they say the interval 0 and 3, they're basically already telling you the x's. So when my x is 0, it's right there. When my x is 3, and 3 would be right around, I would say 3 looks more like at 6, right? So that would be the 0.36. And this would be the 0.01. So you found yourself the points. And if you guys don't remember, when you have 2 points, 0, 1 and 3, 6, let's use that formula we talked about since middle school and apply it. So we have, don't forget to always label your points. This is your first point. We call this your first x and your first y. So we're going to call that x1. We're going to call that y1. And because this is the second point you chose, we're going to call this x2 and we're going to call this y2. So with that in mind, let's begin. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter which one you chose first because the formula is going to make everything consistent. Let's rewrite the formula. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's just plug it in. Your y2 right now it's 6. Don't forget the formula has a minus right there. Your y1 is 1 over x2 is 3. The formula has that minus. And your x1 is 0. Okay, let's solve. 6 minus 1 is 5. And 3 minus 0 is 3. And there you have it. My slope is actually 5/3. Positive 5/3. And that's basically what you do there. And on another aspect, sometimes you might get your intervals like this. Now notice these are not parentheses. These are brackets. And when you see this on the homework, that means this is not a point. It's not x and y. They're actually giving you like the intervals, the x's. This is your x1. This is your x2. They're telling you from where to where you want to find the slope. Previously, you had found the slope from these 2 points right there. Well, now you want to go from 2 and 3. What would happen if you wanted to find the slope from here? Notice that the slope is going to be a little different. Well, let's find out. At point 2, oh, I'm sorry, I was incorrect. We're going at point right here at 2 when x is 2. Sorry about that, guys. When x is 2, it should be around 4, right? So that's 2, 4. So we want to find the slope from these two points. There we go. So my point is actually 2, 4. And my other point, we already guessed it, it was 3, 6. Notice how those were not the points, it was just the interval. Once again, this is your x1, y1. That's your x2, y2. Let's go ahead and put the formula down. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's plug it in. My y2 is 6. The formula has a minus. y1 is 4 over x2 is 3. The formula has a minus. The x1 is 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my slope between those two intervals is just 2. And that's basically how you do the average rate of change.